In this video, I will do a Cuphead boss tier list. It's every single phase of each boss. Starting with the potato. The potato just shoots projectiles at you, and each time it gets faster. But you can easily figure out the pattern and jump over it, so I'll say easy. The onion, you just have to dodge the tears coming from the sky. Or you could just stand there and do nothing, which makes this one very easy. The carrot shoots lasers at you and shoots slow-moving carrots from the sky, so just say easy. Goopy Legrande is the easiest boss in Cuphead, in my opinion. The first phase, he just jumps around and sometimes punches you. I'll put that in easy. The second phase is the same thing, only he's a little bigger, so I'll say easy. The grave slides around and falls on you. Hildeberg, the first phase is pretty easy. I'll put it in easy. Phase 2, this is when she transforms into the cloud things. I'll say medium. Or maybe even a little difficult. The last phase is where she turns into a moon. I'll say it's a little difficult with Gribbian Croaks. The first phase is pretty easy. I'll just say easy. Phase 2 is pretty much the same thing, only with a little bit of wind blowing at you. Phase 3 is actually hard. I don't know if I should put it in difficult or a little difficult. It depends on if you have good RNG or not. I'll just say a little difficult. Cagny Carnation, the first phase is pretty easy. I'll put it in medium. And phase 2 is actually hard. The first phase is easy. You just stand back and yeah, it's easy. The balloon phase is a little difficult because of the roller coaster and the balloons charging at you. The third phase is, I'll put it in a little difficult as well because it's easy to dodge, but with the roller coaster and everything, it's a pretty short phase. That's why I'm not putting it in actually difficult. The carousel isn't actually that hard either. I'll just put it in a little difficult. Candy corn is a little difficult. The muffin just splats on the ground. It can be hard to dodge though because it's fast when it comes down. The jawbreaker is actually, I'll put in medium. It's easier to dodge. The candy dispenser machine is the easiest one. And the waffle, which some people think is chocolate for some reason, I don't know why, goes in a little difficult. And the actual boss is also a little difficult. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Jimmy the Great. It depends on if you have good RNG or not. The swords are easy to dodge, but when he has a bunch of stuff coming out of a chest, it's more difficult, so I'll put it in a little difficult. The second phase is very easy. It's just a maze. The third phase is, I'll say it's medium. There's ghosts that come out of the coffin, and he shoots his eyes out. The fourth phase, he just shoots you and has a hat that floats around. It's pretty easy. I'll put in medium. And the last phase is the second easiest, so I'll put it in easy. Wally Warbles, I'll say it's easy because you can just stick to the left side of the screen. The child is a little difficult, I'll say. And the last phase is, he has the heart, and that becomes his hitbox for a short time, and he has a lot of projectiles that split, and I'll just put it in a little difficult. The first phase of Rumor is medium. He just comes at you and throws some bombs sometimes that split into smaller projectiles, and there's some bees that come through. I'll say the second phase is too, because she just summons a couple things that are easily dodgeable. And the last phase, Werner Werman. The first phase is medium. He just goes through the stage and shoots some stuff that's easy to dodge. Or it might be a little difficult actually. I'll put it in medium. The second phase is even easier, but it's also medium, so. The third phase is even easier, because it's just a cat and the cat uses its paw. Phase 1 of Dr. Call's Robot I'll say it's medium. Phase 2 is easy. The head just goes back and forth with some bombs coming at you. Phase 3 is difficult. He has all those projectiles coming at you, and then there's the barriers that block you. It's one of the most difficult bosses in the game. Grim Matchstick. Phase 1 is, I'll say it's medium because he just has 2 attacks. Well, also the tail, and they're easy to dodge. Phase 2. I think it's a little difficult because it's sometimes hard to see when the fire jumps up. I don't know, it might be medium. Yeah, I'll say it's medium. Phase 3. I think Phase 3 is medium too. It might be a little difficult though. I'll just leave it there. Sally's stage play is easy. Phase 1 is just she jumps and shoots a fan. Phase 2 is medium because I sometimes forget about the robots on the ceiling, the robot mice, so they can be annoying. Phase 3 is easy. Just has the wave and lightning, which are very easy to dodge, especially with the smoke bomb. And Phase 4, it might even be very easy. Yeah, that's how easy it is. Captain Brinybeard is, I think, even difficult because this one goes for all of the phases before the boat. He has a lot of attacks. The boat is actually pretty easy. I'll put it on medium. The first phase of Cala Maria. The attacks are easy, but it's so long that it makes it actually difficult. She has a lot of attacks too. I think I'll put it on medium. The next phase, I'll put that on a little difficult because there are a lot of obstacles. And this one is easy. And this one. And this one. This one, the first phase can just throw some eyes at you and there's some flying thing that tries to mess you up. This one just, his head just pops out of one of 3 holes in the car, in the train. And his hands tried to hit you. It's very easy. Phase 3, it's just 2 heads, one of them shoots lightning, and the other one just stands there. Phase 4, you have to parry his tail to open the gate, which reveals his weakness. And he shoots a lot of fire at you, and it's difficult. But I'll put it in... the phase isn't that long, so I'll put it in medium. Now on to the King Dice mini bosses. The first one is the drinks. It's easy if you have the right weapon for it. The chips are also easy. You can easily go through the gaps when they charge at you. This one goes in medium because of the thing that's in the middle of where you jump. You can sometimes hit it. This one is also medium. I always avoid this one, so I don't actually remember all of the attacks. There's a wall that... Actually, I think the floor moves, and a wall prevents you from going all the way to the left. The rabbit is also medium. There's 2 attacks. One is a bunch of card symbols come from either the top down or the bottom up. And there's also some that surround you. And there's one gap that you have to go through, and that can be hard to go through. The horse is easy. You can easily get EXs and just defeat him, and it's easy. There's some ghosts that go from the bottom up, but you can easily see them, and the horse just throws a present that splits into projectiles. This one I will put in medium, or easy. Medium, because the enemy goes from left to right, and there are some chips that you can parry and stand on to jump over. And the only attack that this boss has is some balls come in a triangular shape, and there's only one place that you can get out of there, unless you have the smoke dash. The 8-ball, I'll put in easy. He only has one attack. The monkey is easy. You just flip the cards and then you can hit him. It's a matching game. And each time he gets faster, and it can be difficult if he's too fast, but it's easy. King Dice is medium. If you're not good at parrying, then that boss is difficult. The final boss is medium, the first phase. He only has a few attacks and they're easy to dodge. Phase 2 is difficult. Actually, it's the rest of the phases. He has a lot of attacks that are difficult to avoid. Now it's for the King's Gauntlet. The first boss. At first it starts out easy, but it gets a little bit harder. It's easy to get the hang of it though, so I'll still put it in easy. This one is just like that. I'll put in easy too. This one's also easy. It's just put out the candles and then you can parry him. It does get a bit fast. This one is medium, I think. There are a bunch of heads that you have to parry back at him. This one's actually easy, even though it's the last one. Because all you have to do is shoot the cannons, and sometimes there are some chess pieces that you have to parry. Glumstone the Giant. The first phase is medium. He only has, I think, 2 attacks. One where he has some projectiles coming out, and the other one where he has the cat. And there are a bunch of elves all over the ground. Oh, I think he has some ducks too or something. Phase 2 is harder. I'll put it in a little difficult. The last phase is easy though. The spider from the Moonshine Mob is probably medium, because there's all the bombs and all the other enemies that appear. The second phase is... Doesn't she only have one attack, where the thing goes in a circle? think it's easy. And the last phase is also medium, because he just shoots the tongue out. And now for the Howling Aces. The first phase was, I think, medium. The second phase is easy. And the last phase is a little difficult because there's so much to dodge. This boss, Mortimer Freeze. The first phase is a little difficult. He has so many attacks, and he can do some of them really quickly, and it can catch you off guard. The second phase is also a little difficult. The last phase is medium. Both of his attacks are pretty much the same. Esther Winchester. The first phase is, she has a variety of attacks. She can shoot a gun and cactus. The second phase, she vacuums up some stuff and then it goes out in boxes and splits apart. And the third phase is a chase thing. They're all difficult. Now for the last boss. Alright, this one's immediately easy. This one's immediately easy. This one is so short it's barely anything. Alright, the second phase is medium. The first phase is a little difficult. That's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, subscribe and comment any video ideas. All recommendations are welcome. Farewell.